What is up, faithful? Another day, another update. We got to talk all about it today. Let's get to it. Let's drop the intro and get to everything we need to get to. What's up, everybody? How we doing? What's up, chat? Mikey, what's good? Deptopia, Daniel, Bailey, Willis, Abe, Christy Marie, S Flood, Nia. The early ones. The early bird catches the worm. Early bird catches the worm. Was that right? Something like that. Botched it. Unbelievable. But you know what? We got some stuff to talk about today. It was a big story this morning. You woke up to the news. I'm sure everybody heard about it. Charles Omenihu, 49ers defensive edge rusher, he was arrested for allegations of domestic violence in San Jose yesterday, Monday yesterday. That's what the first report was. Cam Inman, Mercury News. Still no details on what's happening with it. They gave us the reports that he was arrested, and there was like everybody's freaking out. So a 49er spokesperson from Matt Mayoko basically said that the team is still gathering information. They're not 100% sure on all the results yet. They're still kind of trying to get all the information on what's going on, right? They're going to sit back and they're aware of the situation and see what happens. He's a great player, and we don't know if he's going to play on Sunday yet. We don't know if this is going to have any bearing on him playing on Sunday. He was released on bail, so that's the good thing. He's out. We'll see what happens. We'll see if it's smoke. We'll see if he has any if there's any repercussions. We don't know. Sometimes these things take time. We don't know if the league's going to suspend him. We don't know if he's going to get suspended, and all that kind of stuff from the team. Niners have been there before with these situations, and it kind of gives you a little PTSD. Reuben Foster, Alden Smith. And you're like, no. Bruce Miller, there's been situations with this team and you're like, uh-oh. And hopefully it's nothing, again, if you read the article, it just seems kind of like not enough information, right? So we'll see. If Omenihu doesn't play, if he doesn't play Sunday, Drake Jackson is going to be the guy that has to be elevated. 100% Drake Jackson is not the guy, he's been a very, very big time part of this team. Charles Omenihu, he's underrated. He's been playing really good football down the stretch. And the same thing happened last year when we got him. He was a big time part of this defensive line, and I love Drake Jackson. He's definitely going to be able to step in, next man up. But he hasn't played in 5 games because he's been a healthy scratch. So to go from a guy that's been rolling and he has that motor on him to a guy that is a rookie that hasn't played in 5 games, that's a big change. So hopefully Omenihu can play. Hopefully he gets his name cleared before Sunday. Again, we don't know the facts. We just see what the report says that Cam had wrote, said that he was very cooperative with the law enforcement when they came on scene. They checked the female, his girlfriend. She said she had arm pain and she didn't want medical advice. She didn't want any medical help or anything, medical attention, and they went about it. But I think because of the complaint of pain, and she said that there was an altercation where he had pushed her, they had to get suspicion. They booked him on that suspicion. So again, there's going to be more follow up for this, but right now, that's it. We don't have any other updates. We don't have any updates from the team. We don't have any updates from the NFL. It's up to the Santa Clara County to see what they're going to do. And sometimes these things take a couple weeks, couple days. We don't know, but they might speed it up because we need to know if he's going to play on Sunday. We don't even know, all the details. Again, that's what we've been provided. So hopefully, nothing really happened and all that good stuff. And at the end of the day, it's more of like a distraction to the team. This team doesn't need this distraction heading into a big game. This is the NFC Championship. You know what? We don't need this kind of distraction for the game. But unfortunately, things happen, and we'll see, what the truth is. And yeah, innocent until proven guilty, I always say. So Israel says Drake at Jackson time. I hope so. Alex says he's going to play. I hope so. I hope he plays. We need him. He's been a big time player for this team down the stretch. So again, we don't know what happened. We weren't there. We don't know the facts. We see the allegations. Sometimes you see these things sprout up all the time, and you're kind of like, it seems sketchy. But again, I can't make any assumptions. I can't sit there and assume anything. We're just gonna have to leave it at that. And unfortunately, it's the news that happened today, and it's news you don't want to hear, because if it truly happened, you're like, oh fuck, man, what the hell, So again, I hope that everything is cleared up and Omenihu is good to go, and everything gets water under the bridge, and everything gets kind of clarified for us. Again, he's a big time part of this team, and playing the Eagles is not an easy team. The Eagles are tough. The Eagles are a team that we need our full deck on hand, and they're going to be a battle. Jalen Hurts is a very good quarterback. He's going to be mobile. We need to have our best defensive lineman out there to stop him. So Zach says, Kyle, I hope Kyle is cooking up one hell of a script. I'm pretty sure he is. Kyle Shanahan's been very, very good over the 12 games since the Niners have won. Christian McCaffrey and everything. Last game wasn't the best offensive game. You could tell they stalled. But again, the Cowboys' defense was very, very quick. And it was a game that Brock Purdy had some adversity. He had some adversity. He needed that. He needed a game like that. But if you really look at the numbers, Philadelphia is susceptible against the run and quarterbacks that can catch. Running backs that can catch. Christian McCaffrey, that's a guy. That's the perfect medicine for the 49ers to play against the Eagles. I think the 49ers, if they can use those motion plays, get the wide receivers, out on the flats, like Debo, use him like that, get CMC out in the flat, I think it'll play into their strengths. Because, if you watch that Commanders game, the first game Philly lost, they got ran all over. And I think that is the way to beat Philly. Just hit them up the mouth, run on them, and bully them. So. Gandala says, if Charles doesn't play, it's okay. We still got Drake, Willis, Sampson. So, yeah, again, if Charles doesn't play, we do have great depth. And that's the beautiful thing about the 49ers defense is they have tremendous depth. They have depth everywhere. You got Sampson Ebicam. You got Jordan Willis. He'll step up. And then you got, Drake Jackson. You got Kerry Hyder, Nick Bosa. So you have a lot of talent that can play outside. So, again, if Charles Omenihu doesn't play, they can pick up the pace. They do have that next man up mentality. But it's still a tough loss because he has been very good. He's a very underrated part of this team. Remember that Seahawks game? He got that strip sack, both the falls on it. That was one of the biggest plays of that game. So we'll see. Going to see. Sports Dude says, my Warner shirt is fire. Appreciate you. This is the Warner jersey. Had to wear. I'm going to wear a jersey every day this week leading up to the game. I feel like I got to bring the vibe every day. I got to bring the jerseys. Today we're wearing Fred Warner. I don't know who I'll wear tomorrow. We'll see. It's going to be a surprise every day. So we'll see. Real Teal says, I'll take Drake Jackson over Omenihu. Drake Jackson's definitely talented rookie. He had flash this year. He's really good at batted passes at the line. I think he had like 5 batted passes, tip passes at the line, if I remember correctly. He had 3 sacks. He showed a lot of potential. He's going to be a very good player for this team. He's definitely a bright spot. He's definitely one of the guys they're really going to develop for the future of this team. And he's going to be a future superstar. We saw last year, we saw those flashes with Hufanga, and this year he really took off, became an all-pro. I can't wait to see what Jake Jackson does with another offseason and training with Chris Kasurg. Again, if he does play, he's talented, and he's probably going to be hungry to play, because he hasn't played in 5 games. The guy is he's going to be very hungry on Sunday if he plays, because, again, rookie, he's kind of just been sitting, waiting for his moment. He's been inactive and he's been a healthy scratch. It's not that he's been hurt. So I'm sure that the rookie has a lot to prove if he does get to play. So give me stuff. Zach says, what's the game day jersey this week? It's George Kittle. George Kittle. We're wearing George Kittle this weekend. Beast mode is, am I going to the game? I'm not sure yet. I want to. I gotta work on Saturday. So even if I do decide to go to the game, I don't know how I'm gonna fly out there because I gotta work, and I've been looking at flights. But I have been looking, a little expensive though. So we shall see. Bailey says, after the dub the past weekend, he looked upset while everyone he was with was eating, and he had his jacket over his head, laying down in the booth sleeping. Or if you're talking about Drake Jackson, I mean, yeah, I'd be a little upset. You're not out there helping your boys. You want to be out there playing, and he's a youngster. He's a rookie. He's probably just like so hungry to get out there and play. So yeah, I might be a little down if I wasn't out there contributing to my team, but you're still part of the vibe. You're seeing what it takes. You're seeing what everybody's doing. But I'm sure if you're a player and you're out there, you get paid. You want to be part of that. You want to be part of why they're winning. So I could see him if he was a little dejected. I could see why. Yeah, I could see why. I mean, again, rookie. A lot of big bright future. He's hyped. He's in the NFL, but not playing 5 weeks in a row. It kind of sucks. I'm sure he's probably just hyped for a moment if he gets it. So we'll definitely get to see him play this weekend if our boy Charles Omenihu isn't able to play. So just definitely was a tough, story to wake up to. I was just like, I saw that. I'm driving to work and I see the notification hit. I see Cam Inman's post and I'm like, are you kidding me? This is crazy. And then you read it and it just like, again, the story just seemed kind of like, I don't know, seemed a little weird. It seemed a little like the time. It's not weird. It's the timing. It's the timing. I mean, that kind of stuff there's never a good time for those type of allegations. Honestly, never. But I mean, the timing of this, the week of the NFC Championship, it's like, are you kidding me? Like, why do we don't need that distraction heading into this game? You know what I mean? So it's kind of crazy. But again, we'll see what happens this week. It's a short time. Like, we're Tuesday, the game's Sunday. There's so much that can happen in a few days that we don't exactly know, what's going to happen for Sunday. So again, will he play? I don't know. I hope he does. We don't know what the NFL is going to do. We don't know. They're all waiting for the facts. The NFL is waiting for facts. The team's waiting for the facts and everything to come out. Sometimes this stuff takes a little. It's a little slow, but again, the timing of this is all just very weird timing. That's the way that. So, yes, that's. Loop says, I hope Hufanga pops off this game. I think he will. So S. Flood says, who's going to be the X factor of defense this week? Going off of what Loop just says, I think Hufanga is going to be the X factor. I was, watching some Philly games. I was watching last year's Philly game. Also, I watched that last night. And just kind of looking at the Philly game and then watched some of their film already, and I was looking at it, I was like, God, Jalen Hurts he's really good. He's really mobile, and he can get after. The Niners have a hard time stopping these guys, but I know they have a great linebacking core. Like, we all know Fred Warner, Azeez Al-Shahir, and Dre Greenlaw. Those guys are great. They can come all over the place and stop any running back. They're flying, and we know their ability, and especially in coverage. Like, Fred Warner is such a great coverage linebacker. But I think the X factor is going to be Talanoa Hufanga. I think he's going to be spying because he's kind of like that hybrid role. Like, he has a safety, but he could play like that linebacker safety type role. And I feel that he's going to be looking at Jalen. And if Jalen tucks it and he tries to step back and he hesitates, I think they're going to send Hufanga to come and hit him. And if he takes off, I think Hufanga is going to be trailing him and shadowing him, and he's going to hit him. I have a big feeling that Talanoa Hufanga is going to be the X factor this week. And I think he's going to have a big play, whether it be a pick or like a fumble. I think he's going to rip the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hand. I have this feeling that it's going to be a Talanoa Hufanga masterclass game. He's going to be the guy. Troy Polamalu did this before, and I think he's going to pull a Troy Polamalu type game, and he's going to do that. Is my take, that I feel that Troy Polamalu is going to be bellowing up inside the Talanoa Hufanga, and he's going to come with that, and he's going to bring that energy. And again, if you got Jalen Hurts running and you have him doing all this stuff, he better watch out for Talanoa Hufanga. I feel that Hufanga is going to drop the hammer on him. I feel that he's going to drop the hammer on him. So, if you were one of the NFL script writers, which Niner would you make this week's hero? Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy leading the team to the NFL to the Super Bowl. And I think Brock Purdy would be a phenomenal story. Or George Kittle, Because Kittle, remember, against Kansas City, I will be back and be back with a motherfucking vengeance. George Kittle, that would be a phenomenal story. I think Kittle and Purdy are going to be the story. I think that's going to be. I think George Kittle's going crazy this game. I think he's going crazy against Philly. They're not going to be able to handle George Kittle at tight end. There's no way, because they're going to be trying to. They're going to have a hard time stacking the box. They're going to be having a hard time trying to stop the run, because the Eagles do have a hard time stopping the run. If they're going to push in and they're going to try to stack the box, you got Kittle over the middle all day. And we already know that Purdy trusts Kittle. He trusts him in the red zone. But now, after these last few weeks, especially last week when he made that catch, he's like, I trust him even more. He's going to try to find Kittle. And the crazy part of that catch, George Kittle's catch that he had, that amazing catch, he wasn't even supposed to. Yeah, he wasn't even a design. It's like Purdy was going through progressions. He saw the pressure. He's like, shit, Kittle's open somewhere. Let me throw it. And that's why Kittle looked back. He's like, whoa. And it was just this moment. And Brock was like, holy crap, I threw it. He caught it. That's amazing. I definitely think that Kittle's going to be a big part of this offensive game plan. You got Debo, CMC. But I think Brock Purdy would be the hero. If Brock Purdy goes out there, throws 3 touchdowns, and he outperforms Jalen Hurts, it's a phenomenal story. Last pick of the NFL draft. Prove him wrong or prove him right, like Tom Brady said. Be a phenomenal story. But yeah, on defense, I definitely think it's going to be Talanoa Hufanga. Niner guy for life says it's going to be the Niners versus the Bengals. Part 3. It could be. Bengals, they live inside the Chiefs' mind, live in their mind. I could see Burrow beating Chiefs again. And Pat Mahomes, he's playing on a high ankle sprain, right? And that's not going to be easy. But he's tough. He's built different. He can play through it. I know he's going to be playing to it, but how effective will he be playing through it? And they're going to be hitting him. So we'll see. But we can't focus on the AFC. We got to focus on the task at hand. Zach says, Lenore, another pick, 3 straight games. I hope so. This guy's playing with fire. He's playing with absolute fire. Deommodore Lenore has 2 interceptions in these playoffs. He's tied number 2 in 49ers history of playoffs with Deion Sanders and Richard Sherman. It's pretty crazy. The number 1, my boy Eric Davis. So he's got 2 more to go to catch Eric Davis. Eric Davis had 4 interceptions in a playoff run. 4 of them in the playoffs. That's crazy. Deommodore Lenore needs 2 more to tie Eric Davis. 3 to pass him. That's a lot. We'll see if he can continue his good play. Again, Eagles have really good receivers. They have 2 solid receivers. A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. A lot of people say that they're the best wide receiver duo in the NFL. Arguably the best. The Niners have a great wide receiver duo themselves, Debo and Ayuk, but they're employed a lot differently. They're yak guys. They get open in space, specifically Debo. But Brandon Ayuk is a pure wide receiver. He can match up against any cornerback. He's going to route everybody. He's that route running, true number 1 type receiver. But Debo, man, his skill set is unmatched. He can hit those slant plays, those intermediate catches. He could get that screen pass, wide receiver screen. You can find him all over the place. But different skill set. Devonta Smith's got that fast speed. He was a former Heisman back in Alabama. That guy is super quick, super fast. He's good at route running. A.J. Brown, he's tough. He's fast, good route running. He has good hands. It's going to be a battle both ways. So we'll see. Bailey says, I'm going to send you some receipts from this Eagle. I got a lot of receipts already. Eagles fans are reckless. They're talking a lot, man. We had one guy, I posted that one tweet that they're saying that Kittle's not the best tight end in the NFC Championship this week. That was crazy to me. Let me pull that one up. That was crazy. They're definitely just reckless. These Eagles fans. They're getting ahead of themselves. Stephen A. Smith said some crazy. So it was Clay Harbor. He was a former Eagles tight end. He was a mid tight end. I think he was on The Bachelor. He says, I'll go ahead and say it. The Philadelphia Eagles have the best tight end playing in the NFC Championship game. That's crazy to me. Dallas Goedert, he's not bad, but he's not George Kittle. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That is crazy to me. Crazy to me. I got another bookmark. Let me pull this bookmark up. This guy, Kendall Beck, he's co-host of AAT Birds. I guess it's a Philadelphia Eagles podcast. I got 6,000 followers. I guess they're not. That's it. So he's the co-host of AAT Birds. He says he's featured on NBC, Fox, and CBS. This guy, Kendall Beck, this is what he said. You want to see what he said? He goes, Jalen Hurts is better than Brock Purdy. He says the Eagles O-line is better than the 49ers D-line. He says the Eagles D-line is better than the 49ers O-line. He says Eagles wide receivers are better than the 49ers cornerbacks. He says the Eagles cornerbacks are better than the 49ers wide receivers. He says two of those matchups are close, but I think the game comes down to this. Sirianni, Steichen, and Gannon versus Shanahan and Ryan. So he says it's going to come down to the battle of the coaches because he's basically saying that all the Eagles positions are better than the wide receivers or the 49ers positions. But he left out tight end. He left out special teams. He left out running backs. He left out a lot of positions, and no line. He didn't even mention linebackers. He didn't mention the 49ers linebackers, running backs, tight ends, where the 49ers are way better at those positions. And that's their strength. The 49ers run the ball, and their defenses are so fast to you. They do everything. Linebackers can cover. The linebackers can rush. The linebackers can stop the run. They can do everything. But he failed to mention that. So I can't wait. This is a massive receipt. And then he said this, and he doubled down on this take. He tweeted this a few days ago, and then he says, I'd like to double down on this. He says, Kyle Shanahan won't be able to hold Brock Purdy's hand when the Eagles pass rush gets home or when Slay and Bradbury have him seeing ghosts. He says Jalen Hurts is going to light up that secondary. They have no one to slow down Brown and Smith. And he says, reminder, the NFC runs through Philadelphia. I'm going to say this again. He says Kyle Shanahan won't be able to hold Brock Purdy's hand when the Eagles pass rush gets home or when Slay and Bradbury have him seeing ghosts. Jalen Hurts is going to light up that secondary. They have no one to slow down Brown and Smith. Reminder, the NFC runs through Philadelphia. This is crazy. It's crazy. Crazy. Dude. First off, he's saying that, okay, it's going to come down to coaching. D'Amico Ryans and Kyle Shanahan, they got so much more experience. Kyle Shanahan, this is his third NFC Championship game in 4 years. Are you crazy? These guys, it's just crazy to me. Everybody's gassing up Philly. I'm just telling you, man. Everybody's gonna be gassing up Philly. Media's writing the Niners off. There's already ESPN. They're like 65% the Eagles are gonna win, or 70%, something like that. The media is like all in on Philadelphia. They think it's the safe pick. I'm gonna stay humble. I'm not gonna talk. I'm gonna just say, wait till Sunday, just like last week. And guess what? The Niners, when you stay humble and you stay quiet and you doubt us and we play as the underdogs, 9 times out of 10 we get the last laugh. Look at Debo. After the game on Sunday, he got the last laugh on Parsons, and Parsons is still crying about it. So I love the doubt. I love the doubt. Love being underdogs. I love it. Pretenders. Remember they called us the pretenders? Jesus. Drew says Purdy and now the Niners are playing with house money. Eagles #1 team playing at home. They think it's the done deal. Purdy and his defense will shut a lot of mouths up. I agree. And this is a good comment. Nia says there's a lot of pressure for the Niners. They can go play calm, cool, collected because a lot of people don't expect the Niners to win. Like we do. We're Niner fans. We want them to win. But the media, they're gassing up Philly. They're putting a lot of pressure on Jalen Hurts. They're putting a lot of pressure on the Eagles. They're putting a lot of pressure on Sirianni. And Sirianni is very cocky. He's out there calling Jalen Hurts like Michael Jordan. He's comparing Jalen Hurts to Michael Jordan. This is like crazy to me. I think Jalen Hurts is good. And obviously what's he supposed to say? He's not going to say Jalen Hurts is like Sam Bowie. He's going to respect his quarterback and hype him up. But let's pump the brakes. Jordan was the GOAT of the NBA. Jalen Hurts is not the GOAT of the NFL. He's good. Let's dial it back a little, Sirianni. George says, only Paul Heyman believes in us. Yo, Paul Heyman, shout out to Paul Heyman. This man out there on WWE Raw last night in Philly, and he's gassing up the Philly fan. He's trash. He's trolling, and then he drops the Brock Purdy. I love it. I love Paul Heyman hyping up the 49ers. I was like, okay, I saw that. I was like, I gotta use this somehow on a post. But yeah, man, Brock Purdy. The only one that believes in him is Paul Heyman. he's used to hyping up Brock's, right? So that's funny, man. Showboat says 163 people on the live, only 29 likes. Hit that like, bro. Hit that like. Exactly. What's the biggest win for the Eagles this year? Maybe against Dallas? Was it against Dallas? That's their biggest win? Let's take a look at the Eagles schedule. Off top, I don't remember their schedule. Let's see. Eagles schedule. Let's see what their biggest game this year was. Their biggest win. I mean, they had a lot of them, right? Let's see. Let's take a look. Preseason and okay, so they beat the Lions 38-35, first game of the season, almost lost. They beat the Vikings, but we have found out that the Vikings are paper tigers. Beat them 24-7. They beat the Commanders, they beat the Jaguars, but the Jaguars at the beginning of the season, no bueno. They beat the Cardinals, they beat the Cowboys, yeah, Steelers, they beat the Texans, they lost to the Commanders. They barely beat the Colts, 1-point win. They beat the Packers, they beat the Titans, they beat the Giants, they beat the Bears, they lost to the Cowboys, they lost to the Saints, and they beat the Giants, and they beat the Giants. Best win was the Cowboys. Best win was the Cowboys. The Niners beat the Cowboys. Best win was the Titans. That's it. Or Cowboys. I don't think the Titans was even a good win. Titans were mid this year. Niner guy for live says they're hating on the Niners schedule, but the Eagles schedule was definitely it was soft. So Miguel says, I hate when the media says Kyle made the Niners a QB-friendly team. F that. This is the NFL. It ain't easy. Give Purdy his credit. They're never going to give Purdy his credit. They a few weeks ago was like, oh, my God, incredible, and Mr. Relevant now. But now they want to flip the script. That's what it is. The media is going to do what they got to do for likes and views and engagement. They know what they're doing. They're going to make their own narrative. They want to make their own narrative. They're going to gas up players they want. They're going to hate on people they want because they know if they hate a certain group of people, the fans that support them, they're going to be coming to their site or their YouTube or their Twitter or whatever and be in the comment. They know it. That's what they're doing. They're getting their engagement. I don't like that, but that's what they do. You know, being in social media, you see the trends. You know what it is, but the media loves to switch up. You know? Beast Mode says Brock Purdy will take the Eagles defense to Suplex City. Oh, man. It's funny. Go fund me to send Raj to Philly. Let's do it. Peter says the last two teams they faced were the Giants. We're not the Giants. 100%. We're not the Giants. Last two teams they faced were the Giants. And that's the thing. Like, the Eagles have not played a team like the Niners. They have not played a team like the Niners. We'll see. Lothar says, what's good, bro? Just subscribe to your channel. Appreciate you, Lothar. Thank you very much for the subscription. I appreciate you. Sports Dude says, look at our schedule. Niners had a harder schedule. I'm going to be honest with you. They had a harder schedule, you know? But nobody wants to talk about that. They want to just say, oh, the Eagles, their record is so much better. But the record is good because they played a weak schedule. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. You know, we had a tough schedule. I mean, there was some easy wins. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you that we didn't have easy wins. But we had a tough schedule. You know, started off shaky. We were 3-4, but they won 12 in a row. Bears, we beat the Seahawks. Well, we lost to the Bears. We played the Seahawks, the Broncos, the Rams. That's kind of when we kind of got on a little high note, and then we fell apart for a little bit. You know, Panthers, Falcons. That Falcons game was crazy. And Chiefs, I think the Chiefs game was like a dose of reality of us. Do we want this or not? And then, of course, CMC, that was the week he first came, wasn't 100% with us. You know, he just kind of started. He had 2 days to prep. Then after that, Rams, Chargers. The Charger game, they're a good team. playoff team. And at the time, everybody was thinking the Rams were going to come out and crush us. Revenge. You can't beat them twice in a row. Whooped them up. Cardinals, Saints. Saints beat the Eagles. We shut them out. We beat the Dolphins. At that time, the Dolphins was like everybody's Super Bowl pick. They were hyped up on the Dolphins. We beat the Buccaneers. The pressure with Brock Purdy making his first start against Tom Brady, that was crazy. And we crushed them 35-7. Then we played the Seahawks in Seattle. Thursday night football, short rest. And I remember, oh my God, Brock Purdy going to Seattle. Slayed them, man. And then we played the Commanders. Commanders beat the Eagles. Played the Raiders. It was a crazy game, but we ended up winning. And we beat the Cardinals, Seahawks, and Cowboys. Like our schedule, if you really look at it, we beat more common opponents. We beat the common opponents. We had a harder schedule. We played teams that everybody was like, oh my God, Niners aren't going to beat the Chargers. Oh, they're not going to beat the Dolphins. We beat them. And I thought, too, going into the season, Dolphins game was going to be tough. We crushed them. Brock Purdy. And I remember Jimmy goes down. I was there. Jimmy goes down. And everybody's like, oh, my God. And here comes Brock Purdy doing the damn thing. So. Oh, look at this comment. The Eagles beat the Cowboys with the Cooper Rush. Not Dak Prescott. Yeah, exactly. Nia says the Dolphins were on a winning streak. They were rolling. They were hot. We kind of broke the Dolphins. We crushed them. We broke them. We took their soul from them. After that, they fell apart. So we'll see. A Boogie says key to winning this game is turnovers and the time of possessions. That's it. 100%. In order to beat any team in the playoffs, it's time of possession, turnovers. You win those two battles, you win the game. I agree. Run the ball. Run and run, or run and run. 49er Jeff, I agree. George says, is Jimmy G going to suit up Sunday? Nope. He probably won't even practice this week, according to Kyle. He supposedly had x-rays today. We'll get the results and information tomorrow. They go back to practice tomorrow. They have a day off today. But Kyle yesterday said he does not expect Jimmy to practice this week at all. If he's not practicing, he's not going to be playing this week. It's Brock Purdy. He's a starter. And even if Jimmy comes back, Brock Purdy's a starter. We already been through all this. When do the boys fly out to Philly? I'm pretty sure Friday night. That's typically what their schedule is usually Friday night. They fly out for those road games. So they have a whole day at Saturday to kind of rest and prepare and do walkthroughs at the stadium if they need to and all that good stuff. So most likely Friday night, Friday evening after practice, depending on how late, practice goes. But they try to get it out, get it early. But there is a lot of interviews they got to do and press conferences. Kyle Shanahan meets with the media, I think, every day this week. So they got to get through all that. And then after all their, press conferences and they fly out, So hopefully they have a good flight and, get some rest. Sunny weather this Sunday in Philly. Haven't looked at the weather forecast, but I know it's cold out there. We'll see. Am I going to Philly? Says 49er Jeff. Chances are not looking like it, but you never know. You never know. Rocio says, I hate how the media is literally crowning the Eagles. They've literally won game in the playoffs. Niners are the model of consistency. You know what, though? At the end of the day, let them crown the Eagles. Let them. Because what have they won yet? The media, this is what they do. That's their job. They're going to crown the Eagles. They're going to sit there and say they're the best. Let them. Niners are going to let the game do the talking. And scoreboards are going to be the final verdict of the Eagles are better. I don't even hate it. I love it. I love it because when this team's the underdog, they thrive. And they've been to this position so many times now under Kyle Shanahan. They've been to 3 NFC Championship games now. And I think at this point they realize what it takes to get there and what it takes to win. The Eagles they're a good team, but they don't have that consistency and that hunger that the Niners have right now. This team is hungry to get back to that Super Bowl, and they want to win it all, man. This team's not going to be amazing, like elite forever, although they're going to be pretty good for a long time because they know how to develop that talent. But they have some of their core players at their peak, at their prime right now, like Nick Bosa, Debo, Kittle and Warner. Like these guys are in the prime of their careers, and guys about to enter that prime. So we need to use our experience over Philly. It's exactly it, man. So we'll see, but we shall see exactly what happens this week. It's going to be interesting, and we're going to talk all about it all week. Tonight on Instagram, I'm going to have Akash. He's going to hang out with us, and he's going to drop some stats for us and all that good stuff. But yeah, we'll see. It's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a hard game. I think this is going to be the hardest game we've played all season because the Eagles are good. They have a really good O-line, and I think that's going to be the hardest part of getting this win is can we get past those linemen? Can we get pressure on Hurts? Because if we give him time and if he can escape the pocket, that'll definitely make us play back on our heels, and we can't have that. And again, all about getting to Jalen Hurts. And again, it's that D line versus the O line. It's going to be a battle of the trenches. To me, this game's going to be won in the trenches. If we can run all over them, continue to eat that clock and control the time of possession, and then get to Jalen and make him uncomfortable, it's over. So, do I think we'll get a contract extension for Ayuk, says Sports Dude? Yeah, I definitely think that this offseason he'll get his extension. But again, we ain't worried about that right now. We got a game against Philly. Really not worried about the offseason until it is the offseason. And right now, it's playoff season. So, Jimmy says compress the pocket and stay on rush lanes. And the Niners, they know it. They know it. They have to, 100%. And with these linebackers, with that speed on these linebackers, I think they could do it. This is the comment I've been waiting for all week. Nia says they won't last all 4 quarters against us. All year, this 49er team has proved they're a 4-quarter team. Second half Niners, they make the adjustments in the second half, and they pound you. They hit you. They're physical. Can a team outlast the Niners in 4 quarters? Nobody's been able to do it in these 12 games. Dallas sure didn't. They got close. Can Philly outlast the Niners? I don't think so. Teams get tired. The Niners make you sore. They hit you in the mouth and they beat you up. They beat you up. It's a physical style, and the Niners are conditioned for it. That's why they train so hard. We'll see how tough the Philadelphia Eagles are. It's going to be a heavyweight boxing fight like Rocky Balboa. Dun, da, da, dun, da, dun, da, dun, da, da, da. Niners are Apollo Creed, and Philadelphia is Rocky Balboa. But we got Rocky Balboa, and it's going to be a heavyweight fight. I'm hyped. I'm hyped up. Yeah, we'll see. But anyways, that's it for today. Wanted to come on here, kind of give you a little update on the Omenihu situation and give you a few thoughts on that. And again, hopefully Drake Jackson, if Omenihu has to play, or if Omenihu can't play, I hope Drake Jackson is the guy that can step up and step in. But I know he will be because he's a talented guy and he's hungry. And we have a very, very, very good defensive line. So if Omenihu has to miss time, I think we'll be okay because we have great players on this defensive line, Willis and Bosa and, Samson Ebicam and everybody else. They'll step up. But again, we will see what's going to happen in the next few days. Tomorrow, players return back to practice. And I think Kyle Shanahan will probably address us with that situation. So we just got to kind of wait, and we're going to be on pins and needles until we get those updates. So hopefully this can all be cleared up and nothing comes of it. And I hope Charles Omenihu is cleared out of this because I would hate to see anything, happen to jeopardize his career because he's 25. He's a great young man, and he's had a great, 2 years with the Niners. They got him for next to nothing when they traded for him, and we've really kind of developed him into this really solid pass rusher. He's becoming this budding star on this team. You would hate to see anything happen to this guy's career because he's kind of like on the verge of getting a nice, pretty good contract. It's a contract year for him. He's a free agent after the season, so hopefully everything will be cleared up. Again, the timing to me, the Sell situation just seems kind of weird, but you never know. I hope he gets cleared up, and I hope he did nothing And again, we don't know the exact facts. Innocent till proven guilty. I hope Charles Omenihu's good to go. So we'll see. Love you guys. Yeah. Roman says, can I update on Omenihu? There really isn't any updates. Again, we talked about it at the top of the show. Basically, he got arrested yesterday on allegations, suspicions of misdemeanor domestic violence. Right? Cops came to his house. He was very cooperative with them. And, the girlfriend said, she had some arm pain. She said that he pushed her. These are all the allegations from the report from Cam Inman on the Mercury News. And that's all we have right now. He was released on bail, posted bond, and we'll see. The district courts have to kind of look at everything, and maybe they'll make a case. These things can move slow, but sometimes they can speed it up, like we said. So again, we'll see. We'll see what Kyle says tomorrow. The team has addressed it, and they said they're investigating the situation. So we just got to sit back and wait. So we'll see. My man Jaime says the girlfriend is in cahoots with the Eagles. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully she's not. Hopefully, I just hope that Charles is cleared out of this, because I don't want to assume anything. I don't want to make any speculation, because that's not me. I don't want to say that I know anything, because nobody was there in the situation. But a lot of times these situations, money grab. That's all I'm gonna say. Again, I don't want to make any assumptions, because if you did do something, it's horrible for the girl. But if he did it, then that's horrible for Charles, because you're dragging his name through the mud and you're making him look bad. So again, I don't know the details. Nobody was there. We got to wait for the details, and let's hope that Charles is innocent man. That's it. Let's go, Niners. I love you guys. Appreciate y'all. Have a good rest of your night. Bang, bang. Not again.